Greetings from South Korea. I am Arirang News AI anchor. Here is the news making headlines today. President Lee Jae-myung has said all but 2 Korean ships have exited the Strait of Hormuz. In a cabinet meeting on Tuesday, he said the vessels that had been trapped in the Persian Gulf have now passed through the strait, except for 2 that have no choice but to stay in the area due to certain reasons. He urged officials to maintain an emergency response system and carry out long-term measures to diversify supply chains of energy and raw materials. Following the lowering of the resource security alert level, Lee asked officials to review lifting restrictions on car use in the public sector. Korea's industrial output fell for a second straight month in May, dragged down by a double-digit decline in semiconductor production. According to the National Data Agency on Tuesday, all industry production declined 0.3%, following a contraction in April. Semiconductor output saw a significant 10% decline compared to the month before, contrasting with gains in petroleum refining and automobiles. Meanwhile, consumption managed a slight increase, but facility investment extended its decline, leaving major economic indicators pointing in different directions. The death toll from last week's twin earthquakes in Venezuela has risen again as the search for survivors continues. National Assembly President Jorge Rodriguez said on Monday that at least 1,700 people have been killed and more than 5,000 injured. The magnitude 7.5 and 7.2 quakes struck last Wednesday night, hitting La Guaira state and the capital Caracas particularly hard. The U.S. Geological Survey has issued a statistical model, indicating there is a 44% probability that the final death toll will equal or exceed 10,000. Despite the golden 72-hour window passing, more than 25,000 emergency workers, police officers, and soldiers have been deployed, while international search and rescue teams continue to support operations. President Donald Trump said Monday that Iran had requested a meeting with U.S. officials, but Tehran denied that any new negotiations were currently planned, following fresh attacks across the Persian Gulf over the weekend. Trump wrote on social media that a meeting between the two sides would take place on Tuesday in Doha, Qatar. Iran, however, pushed back, insisting that no negotiations with the United States are scheduled at any level in the coming days. Speaking to reporters, Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman and negotiating team representative Ismail Baghai stated that Tehran's immediate priority is implementing the Memorandum of Understanding, aimed at ending the conflict, rather than initiating discussions on a broader agreement. He dismissed reports of a possible meeting with senior U.S. officials in Qatar, stressing that any American visit to Doha would not be related to Iran. Domestic travel in South Korea surged in 2025, with key indicators including travel participation, trip frequency, and spending all rising. According to the Korea National Travel Survey released by the Culture Ministry and the Korea Culture and Tourism Institute on Tuesday, 97% of Koreans took at least one domestic trip, up 1.6 percentage points from a year earlier. The total domestic travel spending rose to a record high of 39.5 trillion won, or $25.5 billion, a 7.3% increase from 2024. Travel demand also spread beyond the Seoul metropolitan area, with the number of travel days rising most sharply in Daejeon. The survey also showed changing travel trends, with more people enjoying food tourism. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.